Another chilly morning here in Ontario. As you can see, a little cold. I didn't get as many videos done on Saturday as I wanted to. It's just been a very draining week. Between the issues with some of the, we sent some of the horses over stateside. Some of them did well. Off-Road Hanover did well. So did One My Heart Hanover, and a couple other horses are getting ready to leave. Fox Valley Britsko will be leaving first of the week. So will Frilly Fringes. But man, oh man, you look at a horse like Miss Brampton Beast, just looked atrocious. Zeb Sunshine looked dangerous the other night. And then Watch Avenue, now he's been put on Lasix. We'll see how he races his next start. But this is frustrating, right? You look at a horse like Zeb Sunshine. Here's a horse that we were resting to race at Mohawk. He's a horse that needs a big track. Kind of struggle at Georgian. Is it surprising that he's that bad at Northfield? No, it's upsetting. It's frustrating, but it's not that shocking. So it is a little annoying, but we're doing the best we can. Obviously, we thought we had a pretty strong plan for COVID this year, right? The horses we didn't need had left. Some of the horses were turned out. We had them spread out the way we wanted, but we did not. I did not believe that the racing would be canceled. They're racing in Ohio. They're racing in Pennsylvania. They're racing in New York, New Jersey. Everywhere is racing but Ontario. And that's frustrating. I am a little surprised by that. And that is why that we had started the letter writing campaign, email writing campaign last week. My heartfelt appreciation for everybody that is sending these emails. It affects everybody in the stable, not just me, not just you, but everyone in the stable. Think of the people that own Miss Brampton Beast, that own Zeb Sunshine, Watch Avenue, the people that have waited because we had a plan for these horses to race at Mohawk. I feel bad for Tim Twaddle's owner who sent Donato over here. This horse still here. He's leaving on Monday because there is no date set. We had a 28-day shutdown. It was 29 days ago, 30 days ago now. And no one knows. Nobody's saying this is the date. Yeah, there's been submissions from Woodbine to the government that when we start up, racing is first to the trough. Okay, when's that? No one seems to know. So if you're out there, keep in mind, if there are email templates there, but obviously a personal touch always works. If you could take 5 or 10 minutes just to write down a note, doesn't matter where you're from. You are people that have put forth money into Ontario, right? We've all put money into Ontario. And to see other jurisdictions racing under very similar circumstances, to see the NHL playing during the time period we're shut down, where obviously I and you and many other people in this industry are biased, but been the safest sport I can see. It's outdoors. The same people that have to take care of these horses. I'm going to the barn right now. I'm going to take care of those horses. Caretakers every day are taking care of those horses. Those are the people that are going to the racetrack and racing. You, the owners, have suffered. They couldn't go to the races for the most part. Couldn't go. Maybe a few here and there, but for the most part, no one could go in Ontario. Training was hard. That's the next problem. Extrapolating this. Okay, say we get back racing in March. Does that mean the training schedule opens again, or is Ontario going to say, okay, everybody stay segregated? That means we have to move our Ohio horses to Ohio early. Not the 2-year-olds, but the 3-year-olds. Keep in mind, the stake races in Ohio start in April. That's when the 3-year-old races usually start. Pennsylvania, Ohio have races in April. We can't finish off our horses in Ontario. You can't expect me to put a horse into qualify after being able to train on a half-mile track in the winter, 10 minutes from Mohawk. I needed some Mohawk miles into those horses, and if that's not going to be available, those horses have to leave early. Think about the micro, about what's going on. Every horse that leaves to go to another jurisdiction that isn't supposed to go, Miss Brampton Beast, Watch Avenue, Zeb Sunshine, those were horses out of Kevin McMaster's barn. Donato at a Kevin McMaster's barn. How many of those leave before I have to look at maybe laying people off? I'm trying my hardest to keep people employed. I don't want to lay anyone off. But we can't keep hemorrhaging horses and money without that happening. So that's a big problem. So as I was saying, keep up the great work. I truly, truly appreciate you writing letters. And I know some people said, well, Anthony, I'm an American. Yeah. But you have a vested interest in Ontario also. Right? I think it's important we write the emails just so they understand. Hi, my name's Jim. I live in New York, but I have horses in Ontario. I appreciate the bad position you're in, how tough it is, and trying to keep everybody safe. But at the same time, we're all trying to keep people safe in New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New Jersey. Aside from Indiana, which is down every time this year, every jurisdiction that could be racing is racing, except for Ontario. So the one thing I would stress is, and the emails that I was CC'd on were all positive. Thank you very, very much. But it might be worth CCing Jim Lawson on those emails. He's on there also. And I had some people saying, hey, Anthony, I didn't see the email addresses. I'm going to ask Kelly to put them front and center this week. Not just a click that you can click on, but the actual email addresses right there for you. Because I did have some people saying, I didn't see the addresses. You had to click on a link that took you to the addresses. We'll put the addresses on the email this week. Please feel free to take a couple of minutes and just write what horse racing has meant to you. Just so this gives us an opportunity also to explain to the politicians of Ontario what fractional ownership means to horse racing. And that tone was pretty clear in a lot of the emails I read this week that were sent. And I appreciate your opportunity in taking that up with the politicians also. Ensuring that not only do they see why racing could or should be racing, through the safety, through the other jurisdictions racing, but also showing them the future of racing. Showing them that horse racing has all these people from all over the world that are involved right here in Ontario, Canada. Maybe we should take a second look when we sit down and try, and we get around COVID. We will together at some point. We get around COVID, maybe take a look and see what's going on here. So very, very smart, and I appreciate that. Obviously, I didn't ask you to do that, but that undertone, that undercurrent is there from people that I read from New York, from Pennsylvania, from Illinois. Write the politicians. Explain to them who you are, what Ontario racing means to you, why you're inquiring, and why it's important. And for the people that live in Ontario, I know I saw some emails sent to your MPPs, and I appreciate that. That's important, your constituents. But also send them off to the emails that are on there. These are the people with the file, right? Parm Gill has the file, or is Milton. So Woodbine is his constituent. Mohawk is his constituent, right? The Minister of Finance has the file. And, of course, Premier Doug Ford has the file also. So I appreciate your help in this. You've done a great job. Keep the heat on them. Keep the heat to their feet. Keep working. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It's flickering at some points, it seems. I'm sure the light will come on at some point. There'll be a positive note. I see the cases continue to go down. There are 2,415. I suspect the threshold for this time of year. Now, again, completely unscientific, but there didn't seem to be that much cause for concern or pause for concern when they were below 2,000 heading into December. So I suspect when you see it come down, once they hit that 2,000 threshold, they'll start talking about opening businesses up. I suspect. As of today, I believe we were at 2,415. And keep in mind, I think the news is a big problem also. It seems like when the numbers go down, they talk about the deaths. You know, when the deaths are down, they talk about the numbers. You know, misery sells, and it's selling pretty good right now. So keep up the good work. You guys have done a great job. I truly appreciate all your help. If maybe you didn't get an opportunity to, or you're waffling, wavering, saying, geez, I'm not in Ontario, keep in mind, there's more at play here than just COVID-19. This is our opportunity to show what we do, to show the powers of thestable.ca and the power of numbers. This is our opportunity to show the politicians of Ontario that we are present. This will end, and it opens that door maybe later on to a discussion politically to show, you know, maybe it is worth a government, not just a handout over 20 years, but actually framing how growth in horse racing can look over the next 20 years. Woodbine has done a great job. Jim Lawson has done a great job. Jessica Buckley. But we got to play our role too and pull our weight. And we have a substantial amount of weight. So thank you very much, everybody that's taken part in this. It is truly appreciated. Moving on. As I said, some of the racing was bleak this week. Some of the racing was good. Off-Road Hanover, I saw a younger kid driving off-road Hanover today. Obviously, with the post times moved, for those of you who don't know, Ohio is in an indefinite curfew. That's a powerful word. I guess we're in an indefinite lockdown. An indefinite curfew. So that's why the racing is moved from 6:20 to 4:25 at Northfield Park, and it will remain there. As it does, the races still start at 12:45 at the Meadows. The Meadows is 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes. I've driven it many, many times. 2 hours and 5 minutes or thereabouts. If you don't know any shortcuts, which I suspect Aaron Merriman does, but at the same time, it is what it is. So if our horses are in the earlier races at Northfield Park, and not to take anything away from the young kid Justin Irvine, he did what he could, drove off-road Hanover well, but got in some real trouble with Zeb Sunshine. He's an easy horse to get in trouble with. He's a troublesome horse. So again, off-road Hanover raced well for Justin. Aaron will be back in the bike next week. This is a horse that's doing good things, and I assume growing equity and capital in that particular animal is, as I said to one of our clients this week, that is a substantial share in him also. I wouldn't say he's a stake horse. He's not a Meadowlands horse. Might be a freehold horse, but an interesting looking trotter nonetheless. I think he'll learn to be a decent trotter, and he's coming forward right now. So off-road Hanover, good story there. Won My Heart Hanover, raced great. I think Hunter, he's been doing good things for us. He had a bad week a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think he drove the filly bad. Made one little error. I think he got a little anxious in the last turn and pitched her out 4 wide in the last turn at the Meadows. Never did get to the guy that finished second, who he moved off of. I think if he just follows him to the head of the lane and lets her trot down the lane, maybe he's second, third, or fourth. Maybe he's fourth anyway. Who knows? But maybe he would have got there. I don't know. But she raced well. Certainly not the reason that I'll be heading to the Meadows on Friday. FYI, I'm heading to the Meadows on Friday. But be interested to get a seat back on her. Probably race her this week and then give her a week or two off. Keep in mind, she has those series coming in March and April, as does Frilly Fringes, who will be heading to the Meadows. Finish off her training this week. I suspect Tim will probably train her Thursday in 2-2. I would like to see 2-2. And then probably qualify her the following Tuesday at the Meadows again, 2-1, 2-2, and then head to the races. So Frilly Fringes is there now, healthy. As Johnny said, luckily she's healthy now, looks good. Fox Valley Britska trained with Frilly Fringes the other day. He'll be heading to race next Friday. He'll be short next Friday, but nevertheless, he'll hopefully get in. That's the biggest problem, is that Maiden is PA owned and or sired, and he is neither. So hopefully he can get in, or he'll have to maybe make a stop at Northfield. Don't know, but we will see this coming week. Those two horses are heading out, so that begs the problem. What about the other ones? There are a couple that come to mind right away. And keep in mind, don't get too excited if you don't hear your horse's name. This is an extremely fluid situation. We are such a big stable. A lot of this appears as it's fly by the seat of your pants, because honestly it is sometimes. I'm hoping to hear from the Premier in a week. We're going to begin opening things up. Haven't heard that yet. I told everybody I don't want to race Broadway Roll outside of Ontario just yet, because I'm terrified what's going to happen is what happened to Zeb Sunshine. He's now on gate for 7,500 because we are handcuffed. Can't get him in Pennsylvania. He's not PA owned or bred. All those lower classes are filling at the Meadows. Can't get him in. Can't get around a half, apparently. There's nowhere else to race. So now we had a horse that we rested. We waited 2 years for this horse. COVID-19 has put us in such a position that we've had to send him to Northfield, and he can't do. So now we have to sell him at a massive loss just to stop the sinking of that ship. So, very, very frustrated with that. I don't want to see that happen with Broadway Roll. One of our other clients, Larry, said, what about Buffalo? Obviously, New York licensing is a real problem. But a horse like Broadway Roll, be a great place for Broadway Roll. Maybe even Italian Grit. I don't know if they write a maiden trot there. And I know it's tough to get in. We went to send some horses there in the summer, and they said, no. If you're not a Buffalo horseman, a Buffalo horse, deemed a Buffalo horse, or have Buffalo connections, you're virtually not welcome. I don't know if those restrictions have softened. They didn't as of the fall. So let's see if they are now in the winter. I can't send everybody to Northfield and the Meadows. Horses like Broadway Roll and Italian Grit. Broadway Roll is a New York horse anyway. Italian Grit, Indiana horse. But geez, it would be nice to see him racing. I don't know what the purses are like in Buffalo right now. I don't know how often they can get in, if they can get in, if we're welcome. Everything is on the table right now. Everything. Because this is, went from, all right, this is an inconvenience to, this is a real problem. So I wouldn't say the alarm bells are sounding now, but our hands are on the trigger for sure. There's some real problems moving forward, and this is the worst time of year it could happen. And it continues to pile on when you look at the mail. I've had people call me all week, Anthony, did you not get my check? I don't see it cashed. I'm still getting Christmas cards. Christmas cards. Now, one of the major mail hubs the other day was reported from January 1st to today, 182 positive tests of COVID. All those people and all the people they work with are quarantining, so who the hell is in charge of the mail sorting? Who's doing that? I suspect it's not going to get better this week. So this is a real problem because now we have our stake deadline, February 15th. Fairly substantial stake deadline. This is all our 3-year-old payments for Ontario. I can't speak for New York and PA, Ohio. My head is split wide open over this. I know Ontario 3-year-olds are all due. All of them are due February 15th. For those of you asking about, geez, we bought that good Colt. What about the Mohawk Millions? They've changed the format this year. 55,000 Canadian is due February 15th. 55,000 Canadian is due June 15th. Is that plausible? Is that doable? Is that something we're looking at? Because obviously we're not just going to stake 3-Point Blue Chip to New Jersey. That's one stake race virtually. We are going to stake him to a number of things. Where do they look like? Let me look through my calendar. Oh, wait. I don't have one yet. Don't even have the calendars. We usually have them 3 weeks ago. All this stuff. You wonder why I'm not sleeping good at night. Thought it was the coffee. It's not the coffee. Between the mail, between the staking calendar, between the horses having to be shuffled everywhere, new pressures that I'm not attuned to. Obviously, as a trainer, a former trainer, they're not unfamiliar, but at the same time, for what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it, there are certain things we rely on. Finances, can't get them if the mail's slow, right? Calendars, they're not ready yet. The ability to race our horses in a competitive fashion on a regular basis. Can't do that. One track we had a lot of them slated for, multiple tracks. London, Flamborough, Mohawk, they're not racing. So these are all leading to some major problems here. Nothing we can't get through, I don't think, but certainly some things that are going to cause some problems. So, Frilly Fringes, Fox Valley Britska leaving the first of the week. Broadway Roll, Italian Grit will be leaving soon after if I don't hear something immediately from the government about a very certain update, a very certain date they're going to race. There's 2 more that are probably going to have to leave. Those horses are at a Kevin's Barn also. So it's turning into a bit of a nightmare here. We're trying the best we can to get everything done. Can't get it done that quick. We sold the 2 horses last week at the sale. Beach Boutique left, as did I'm Hill on Wheels. We still have Rooney Blue Chip and Bottle of Red for sale. They'll be racing this week. Rooney Blue Chip is in on Wednesday. I suspect he'll do well. He was doing well in that class. Bottle of Red was a little sick when she got home from the sale. Not that shocking. Remember, we scratched her because she had a temperature, ran fluids into her, then 3 days later, put her on a truck, shipped her 6, 7, 8 hours to New Jersey, put her in a paddock around a bunch of other horses. We don't know where they were coming from, if they were healthy or sick. Brought her back home. Oh, she has a temperature of 102. Not surprising. She's healthy now. What kind of a toll did that take? I said to Tim, thankfully, we didn't enter her for this past Friday. We're going to enter her in the condition claimer this coming Friday, where historically she would annihilate them. Hopefully she's good enough to get the win. We'll see on Friday. So that's an update on those 2 horses. Yes made 2 breaks. Now, I was just going to send Yes to Yonkers to Irv Miller. But I was talking to Tim, and in my conversation with Tim, Tim said, well, Yes made a break in the mud his last start. Here in Pennsylvania, we don't count that as a dirty line. We don't count that as a break. That's a clean line. So Yes can actually race in Pennsylvania, where he couldn't. I know for sure he couldn't in Ohio. Don't think he could in New York or New Jersey. Maybe, maybe not. But nevertheless, since I am going to the Meadows Friday, this was the contributing factor, was the fact that Yes would be in on Friday. Tim has jogged in the last 2 days. He was happy with him. For whatever reason, Billy didn't get along with the horse. Not the end of the world. That happens. Billy got along great with Off-Road Hanover. He's got along great with Simba. It's not like he isn't the trainer he is. He's a 400 trainer. He does a great job. But for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out with, yes, Miss Brampton Beast, Zeb Sunshine, and we're keeping a close eye on Watch Avenue. Those things happen. So, yes, we'll be racing next Friday at the Meadows, probably en route to New York, to Irv Miller. We'll see how Friday pans out. So we'll have Won My Heart Hanover in. We'll have Yes Indigo. Those are positive things. Not positive because I have to drive 5 hours to race them, but positive that at least those horses look good. For those of you wondering, Brave World was terrible. Both his starts, and I mean terrible, at Miami Valley. We shipped him to where White Tiger has turned out for 3 weeks. They'll both have a 3-week turnout now. They're going on 2-week turnout. Turn them out, bring them back in. I know a lot of people had said, hey, what about Mitch Turney is in Ohio? He took care of him at Richard Murrow's. That's wonderful. But we have to have proper classes to race the horses in. You'll likely see those two particularly, definitely White Tiger, likely see those horses stay at Tim's for now until we can get a good idea of what's going on with Brave World. I already know what's going on with White Tiger. A little down in the dumps. He was a little sick. I'm sure he'll come back in sharp as attack. So, as you can see, a lot weighing on my mind. I'm happy with the turnout from our emails, from our clients, the politicians. Please, please keep up the good work in sending those emails. Send them daily if you want. Send them, bi-weekly, weekly. Just send them, please. The racing in stateside in Ohio and Pennsylvania has been spotty. We're trying to clean that up. We do have some horses. Unfortunately, we do have some horses that are up for sale that will be sold. We have a couple of horses that have been racing great, a couple of more on their way, and a number of other horses that are ready right now and not really a place to race. So we're going to look into what we're going to be able to do with them. We've made some moves. Miss Brampton Beast is heading to Tim. She'll race next Friday in either a condition or a condition claiming event at the Meadows. Yes is in and is racing at the Meadows next week. Not in as in he's in to go. He'll be entered in to go. Won My Heart Hanover, you're entered in to go next week. Also, Cambridge Star, we sold him. Just about to write an email to our clients explaining that. Zeb Sunshine is on gate, so is Bottle of Red. We are forced into a position where we're going to have to make some changes. It's just the way it is. I can continue to be frustrated, angry, lament, even cry if I want to. But at the end of the day, there's a ship that needs to be steered, and regardless of what's going on, you have to be able to pivot, and we're doing the best we can. The real issue at hand this week is the staking coming out. I am really, really concerned. A number of clients send money already. You don't have to do that. I can't expect people to do that. I do appreciate it, but at the same time, worst case scenario, if I don't have that staking calendar in hand at some point before Wednesday, we are going to be left trying to extrapolate data from last year and say, okay, this is how much we're going to have to pay to Ontario for the 3-year-old staking. Any other staking for that is historically due in February, we are going to have to send out our estimates. I guess it sounds so ridiculous. Send out our estimates to our clients. At least we have a working hypothesis on what it's going to cost in February, so that you, our clients, can send the money in. And there's certainly no fault of your own. You're doing the best you can. I'm doing the best I can. The Postal Service has let us down. COVID-19 has kept up its side of the deal to cause chaos, and we are trying to get through this together, and I believe we will. As I said, this can't keep up forever. The vaccines are there. They're working. They're coming forward. Hopefully by the time spring is over, there'll be a totally different picture being painted in North America. That's my hope. Hopefully yours also. There's no need for pessimism right now. There's lots of that around the world, so let's be optimistic. The emails are working. Let's get Ontario back racing, back up and going, right? If we have to bite the bullet on a couple of these horses, then we will. That's just the way it is, but we're going to do it together. Try to focus on the ones that are racing good, focus on the series that are coming up, the staking that is starting in April in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, and the horses we have that will be ready for those stake races. Jason, being proactive, said, geez, maybe we should head back over to Northfield in March, finish these horses off and make sure they're ready. 100% correct. That is exactly what we're going to try and do. All the while, I'm still keeping an eye on the 2-year-olds. I was happy with Procrastinator yesterday. We'll talk about him in the 2-year-old section and in the top 10 list this week. We do have some 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds that are still in the sale, will remain in the sale. Let's Roll On trained yesterday at 2.7 at the farm. I was happy with him. Needs to do more. But can't ask him to do much more than he did yesterday. And then the 2-year-olds still in question, $1 Million Swan and Loving Beauty. Both those horses remain on the list to go to Ohio still. So, I think there was one more, wasn't it? Loving Beauty, Crestney. I thought there was 5. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, that's all that's going on with me. My life is fairly chaotic on a daily or weekly basis as it is. But man, it just feels like the world's piling on right now between the staking, the racing, and horses not being able to pull their weight for whatever reason stateside. Then yeah, there's some added pressure and added problems. But I'm dealing with it best I can. I know you guys are doing what you can. So for right now, my 2 things. I'll leave you with these 2 things. 2 things we have to do for this week. Figure out the staking. I'll try and get that done for you this week because I know our clients understand how important it is and want to get those funds out to us so there's no interruption, there's no screw-ups on my end. We got to try and get that done. So I will do that for you this week. That's my promise to you. Whether it is a hard number, a concrete number, or whether it is an estimation, my best estimation, I will have that to you this week, I promise. And for you, keep up the good work with the emails. I can't tell you how grateful I am, how the horse racing industry here in Ontario is, how important it is to represent what we've built and how we did it, but the industry we do it in. So please keep up the emails. You're doing a fantastic job. I always end with, I hope you're having a good week. I truly hope you're having a good week. My week's been pretty hectic, been pretty tough. But you know what? Things are looking up. The weather's looking better. Should have a drone for you this Saturday. I would suspect the weather looks good, or it did look good yesterday when I looked at it. So we're aiming for solving the staking issue, getting the emails out this week. I'll head over to the Meadows on Friday. I'll be back Friday afternoon late or Friday night late, and Saturday we'll have a drone for you. That's my promise to you this week, and I appreciate, as I said, everything you have done. I do hope you have a good week, had a good week, and have a better week this week. Things will get better. Things are coming. Take care.